Hey, you. Get on this stick.
Yo, bring it.
Choose your fighter.
Yeah.
How's it going, lads?
Fight.
Bang, bang, bang.
Flawless victory.
Side Quest Arcade.
Scuffed! Alright, let's go.
What? Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Side Quest Arcade. I am, of course, your host for this evening, this day, whatever it may be for you, Madman Matt. With me are some of my IRL friends, Flint, aka Micro Manatee.
Hey there, lads. How's it going?
B. Ryan, aka Happiness, aka Brian.
Okay, aka Brian. Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Trevor, reformed, by the way. Warhaze Pete. And of course,
Hey there, buds. How we
big
doing?
boss, mafia leader, Barstool Games, soon to be Rough and Rowdy 19 champion. Your boy, Bryce, Silent Rivers.
Yo.
We out here. We out here today, boys.
I like that
Live
reference.
and crew.
The Rough and Rowdy reference.
Hell yeah.
Yo, I still like watching Rough and Rowdy with you. Was actually hilarious. Like I had so much
Dude,
fun.
That was a blast.
I gotta
didn't
check when the
think I would.
next one is.
I didn't know I would have that much fun watching drunk rednecks fight each other. But a
Oh,
guy
yeah.
got picked up and slammed down.
Never saw it coming.
Oh, that was great. I love his reaction too. It was basically like, I'm not much of a boxer, I'm an MMA guy. It's like, why'd you sign up for a boxing fight then? Like,
Yeah. Like no remorse. Like he probably actually hurt the dude. Motherfucker
Yeah.
didn't care. He got him
Yeah.
screaming like he was Hulk or some shit.
It was like 5'3", 110 pounds too. It was great.
That was probably the
Motherfuckers-
game plan going in, too. He was like, I'm going to slam this bitch. I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck. Boxing gloves.
Yeah, but you could have won $500 if he just because he was winning. Like, I don't know.
Sometimes you just gotta send it, though. I think you just gotta
Sometimes.
understand. You
Listen,
come in with the mindset of I'm
Lost.
sending it no matter what.
Lost the money but won the fight kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you're Ivan Drago's son and you just punch somebody when they're already on their knees. You know what I'm saying? Then you get disqualified and come back and there we go,
Dude.
Matt. Thanks for the reference.
I got you, son. I got you. Oh man, it's good. It's good to have Five Guys on. It's like Five Guys burgers and fries out here.
Dude, we went from 2 last week to 5 this week. We're flexing. We're flexing on those idiots.
I mean, it's a good thing we brought on Trevor because otherwise we would have had another Flint solo episode too.
Anyone here? Hello?
Those are my favorite episodes. Just get to hear Flint.
Yeah, but yeah, Matt, you're never allowed to do a solo episode again.
Yo, this got us kicked off YouTube, motherfucker.
I was doing something different. I was trying to do like
Yeah,
this.
Nate.
It was work. I forgot that YouTube literally sucks, but don't worry. Now instead of 4,600 subscribers, you're just gonna see 4K. Great.
Yeah.
Good job, YouTube. How much
just
effort
saying.
did that take? You guys
Reducing
literally-
toxicity, dude. Reducing
No.
toxicity.
All they did was make everyone more toxic. Because
All I'm saying,
if you want to reduce the toxicity on YouTube, actually do something that helps the website.
Do you think people are going to
you
say
just delete
stop?
the website.
Yeah.
Well, they changed the numbers. Don't subscribe to PewDiePie anymore.
yeah, they changed the numbers. They changed the numbers so like Pro Jared's, sending nudes to under 18-year-olds is chill, right? Like that's still like a lot. Like don't unsubscribe. Like what?
Well,
I don't know,
think
man.
what I saw generally from Philip DeFranco when they did that was they were trying to stop the YouTube channels that were watching like the trends of the subscribers go down, which I think was then drawing attention to these, and so then more
are so
people were
fun, though.
unsubscribing to watch these numbers and make like records. Like when you watch the whole weird makeup YouTuber controversy argument thing, I don't know, just like slapping hands. Like people, I think, were watching it and then being like, "I'm part of this unsubscribe now," and
I'm part of the movement.
like,
Part of the movie.
look,
It still
making
drives
your voice
traffic
known-
to the website, though. Like, who cares?
Well, I think YouTube views it though as like if there's 1 million less subscribers on this YouTuber, then there's potentially 400,000 less people watching that video at that time. And I think they literally saw it as like a loss of revenue because of like individuals' drama. And so in a business sense, that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, you're like, just let them be mass unsubscribed. They fucked up. They deserve it.
Well, exactly, right?
Or apparently it's, that one was, while I don't care actually about the YouTuber specifically, because I don't watch any
It
of their
sounds
shit.
like you know all about it, Brian.
Yeah,
Sounds like
Brian-
you're right into this
Okay,
thing.
Wait,
Brian
here's
knows
the
all
thing.
about it. Brian
My
follows
wife,
every
I could not get
single
my
part
wife
of
to
it.
watch any YouTube for like the entirety of our marriage. She like snubbed her nose at it, not snuffed. She snubbed her nose at it. Then one day she's just like, oh yeah, just right up there. And then one day I come upstairs and she's like super into YouTube. All of a sudden it just took her like one YouTube channel that she liked after like 10 years of me watching. And then she went right down the makeup YouTuber side, which is honestly a problem because then she started spending a ton of money on makeup that she didn't do before. But then like I was getting all the updates from her because she was like really watching this and like involved.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it was her first YouTube drama. I mean, I've been around for 10 years.
Baby's
But
first
this is
drama.
her first YouTube drama. And so yeah, okay. I'm a little bit more in the know about the Toddy James Charles like argument.
I don't know.
There's more details coming up by those random YouTubers. Oh, well, James Charles is his name, in fact.
TM.
I don't know if
Got the
this
set.
Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Jeffy Star or Jeffrey
I've
Star?
heard both.
Jeffree Star.
I've heard both.
That was Kat Von D drama, though.
Yeah, it was.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Who the fuck? I'm
the least
out.
knowledgeable
I'm
person.
lost, dude.
Yeah, all right. I'm heading out. See you later.
So gaming.
Just the worst part of hearing all of that
Since we
now,
since we've talked about makeup, I just gotta say, we playing hard.
You just
Going
didn't
out
say anything. Say it again.
Cut out for us.
Did it
You're
just
like,
cut out?
I gotta say.
No,
dead
you're good,
silence.
Oh, that's funny as fuck. My Audacity picked it up, so I just said shout out to the Raptors. That's all I said.
Oh, okay.
I heard shout outs too, and then nothing, and then just
Okay.
I really
It's
gotta
like
say.
that Pon Pod
and then just,
episode.
like,
Do you remember?
yeah.
That was a good one.
This whole long thing. Oh, I didn't hear any of that. You got to get that
Yeah.
entire ass done, dude.
Matt, did you paint your room that mustard fucking yellow color?
It doesn't look that good on the camera. I'll say that. It looks a lot darker.
mustard yellow is a compliment compared to what I was thinking.
I like it, man.
I like it.
Golden
Why are we
shower
cooking-
yellow?
Why are we cooking Matt
I
today?
was thinking about that baby shit yellow, bro.
You guys always try to cook me. It actually looks sick. I don't know. It doesn't look as good on the camera. Like
Sickly, but
nah, sick, dude. Bro. We're gonna talk shit. The people who lived here before me painted the fucking roof blue, the ceiling. I had to paint it white. I don't know. So,
What were the walls? What color were the walls?
like green.
Listen, you have to offset the room with painting the roof a different color. Okay.
maybe
Dude,
it
you
was
can
like a Minecraft.
you can chroma key that bitch now though. With
Let's be fair.
you don't even need a green screen.
Matt lives in
You
the
can-
middle
you
of
just do
nowhere,
it.
BC. There was probably some serious stoners that were in
Oh
there.
yeah,
just
no,
like,
I asked about it because I live in a strata, right, or like a townhouse. Like I asked them, like, so they oh yeah, they were huge hippies. I'm like, say no more. Like I got it.
I mean, that's like half of
Earthy
rural
color.
BC, but
Yeah.
like,
So I just got to put some
Oh.
shit back here, and I got to put some sound foam there, and probably on this wall here. And we're good.
Hell yeah.
one thing I learned when I tried to soundproof a room: don't just put the foam. You need something that absorbs your bass as well. The foam will just like remove like the high end echo, and then just
Yeah.
leave like a deep bassy echo.
Yeah, that's all part of it.
They have like fucking
Oh.
things you can put in the corner for bass.
Yeah,
shit.
they're these.
The
I'm not
big
sure if
ass
they would, 'cause-
triangle.
You could also
fucking
just make
thing.
the IKEA box like I did before we had cameras.
That's true. Well, I'm also going to be getting a better mic soon, so
Hmm.
it's all part of the plan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
moving
yeah.
sucks, by the way, because you'll like the other day I was like, oh yeah, put some stuff in my oven, right? And then it was all cooked up, and then I was like, wait a minute, I don't have like a glove or like a thing to like get the food out of the oven. I was like, oh shit.
Listen, just
They're
grabbing
like, "Oh!"
just grabbing it with your hand really makes you appreciate the food you've cooked. Okay, that's just
Absolutely.
Third-degree burns.
No,
I had to
ended up-
work
oh,
for this food.
I just wrapped up a shirt like on my hand and was really fast, and I could kind of feel the heat, but it was okay.
Hell yeah.
So,
Oh,
boys,
that's good.
Yeah,
it's 5 of us. It's 5 of us. Brian's fucking finally here. I can tell Brian. I told Brian for about motherfucking 8 years I was gonna fucking start playing D&D with them,
Oh shit!
but got D&D with Flint going.
Honestly, that's a more regular schedule than mine anyway. I feel like mine is like a lot of fun and then just a whole lot of disappointment as nothing happens for 6 weeks.
I did not take that into consideration at all. One, what took it into consideration, well, pretty much the only thing is, yeah, it's every week, but every week is like 2 to 3 hours. When you guys play, it's legit like fucking 12-hour sessions. It's 3 a.m. Y'all motherfuckers are still going. I'm like, no.
That's because we only got to play every 6 weeks. We got to make up for the 5 weeks we're unable to play because my life schedule is... I mean, look at my attendance on the fucking podcast. Do you think I can run a D&D campaign on a normal schedule? Like, fuck me.
That's why I can't do D&D as well. Like, at least you're the DM or whatever, so it's fine. But
yeah, I'm the DM. They do as I fucking set the schedule.
yeah,
But...
we're not like, would love to be a paladin, guys. Like,
Love to do it.
I got a fucking half-orc, barbarian, bounty hunter. That's what I'm going with.
you're good.
It's been fun so far. There's just like little, like, I've never role played before, so there's a lot of like shit I'm not necessarily good with. So I end up just like talking a lot and like not. Fucking Fiona Flynn's sister. She's playing a bard. She's fucking all into it. She's awesome with the role play shit. Using a fucking little bird voice and everything, and like I end up talking shit to her because
Is she in a croca?
Yeah.
she will fucking. I will, dude. There was one time I had like 2 health. Instead of healing me, she yells insults at the fucking enemy. I'm like, no. But there's what like she did. Like she yelled at the enemy, did 1 damage, and Flint's like, his head explodes against the wall. I'm like, wait a minute. Because that's all the health he had left. Like, what the fuck? This is bullshit.
I think you sat at like 1 HP for a good like third of a fight, just like begging to be healed. And we have a druid and a fucking bard, and no one was doing it.
That's awesome.
Motherfuckers.
You guys ever,
So-
like, whenever I think of like bards, do you guys ever remember like Mumford Sons?
Yeah.
I never watched that.
Oh, they're a band.
They're a band.
Oh, it
Yeah,
never.
we're
There we go.
That's why, dude.
Well, they like play on like violins and like kind of folky, and like I just think
Yeah.
about like watching them play would be like bards.
Yeah,
Or, like
it's
the Road to El Dorado. Do you remember that one?
yeah. That was
gotta
what I was
lose.
gonna say.
Yeah.
But her character's got bagpipes, so it's terrible.
Oh, God.
And a croca
Yeah.
playing bagpipes. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's got lungs the size of grapes, but somehow manages to fucking fire a bagpipe out.
Scottish
Yeah.
jab.
So the
Oh,
barbarian's been pretty easy. I get to fucking just rage and go ham and get in there, and it's like a little awkward. Because the way the character is my first time playing, but it just makes the most sense for me to lead the way into the fights every time we're about to fight.
Yep.
So I'm just like, well, I'm getting really angry, guys. See you later. And Aiden's like, well, I can put them to sleep first. I'm like, oh, well, I guess we could do that. Maybe.
You've already split one guy in half. The fucking others are screaming. It's like, I can make him
Put
nap.
him to sleep.
That's the thing you have to do with the barbarian, though, is if you don't have a barbarian in the party, everybody's like, okay, we're checking for every trap. We're looking at this. Let's set up a plan. When you have the barbarian, you're like, There's a comic. Yeah, Leroy, but a comic I remember watching where like the door, like a gentle breeze like opened the door, and the barbarian is just smashing the door with his axe. Like, this is how we open doors as a barbarian.
Yeah, there's done a full party of barbarians. It's literally just raids. Like everyone just runs in.
Yeah. There was like one
that once. Yeah.
There was like one fight sequence where I may or may not have been fully listening to the people who like rolled before me. So two people, they shot arrows from behind where I'm standing. I like did not really hear that. So the dude is literally right in front of me. So I rage, roll, and miss. Flint's like, your axe just sticks into the wall. And two arrows come over your shoulder and like kill the guy in front of me. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I didn't really need to get that angry right there. That's awkward.
Awesome.
So a lot of that's been fun. I didn't know coming into it, taking notes is a good idea. So I'll just be talking to people and then like, what was his fucking Hank? What was his name?
Hank.
Like Flint will tell me their name again. I'm like,
it's like Hawkeye the Wise. Yeah, Hank, that guy.
Yeah, yeah. The guy who told me to go talk to the person. Who was that? Yeah.
Balthazar.
Who's
yeah.
the person again?
Yeah.
Like flipping through notes, like, oh, fuck me. Especially like making up characters on the fly because you have the fucking, your bounty hunter background lets you have a contact in every fucking town we go to. So now I have a fucking random generator list of like, okay, what's Bryce's contact's name? Okay, that's this one.
Easy.
And like, I don't know, like I said, I've never roleplay before. So like, I find my contact, knock on the door. I'm like, let me in. And Flint's roleplaying and he's like, oh, Wolfgang, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know, bitch, let me in the fucking door. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. I don't know. I gotta talk to you. Fuck. I wish I could roleplay in D&D like as myself. I'd have a better time then.
You can. just make
comes
your
with
name like
practice.
Bryceth or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I played, I was like trying to talk in person. It was the most awkward thing ever. And now it's like, especially after being a DM, like when we were having our chat with Arashni, and I was talking as, you know, an elegant woman who was trying to be a little bit intimidating, and the party was like, she's terrifying. I was like, yes. I wanted her to kind of just be like, you know, like a certain amount of grace, but like a terrifying grace.
It'd be really awkward if you were trying to do that, and then the whole party was like, damn, she thick. You'd be like, whoa.
You know what the worst is? This is something that's just like, it happened in the past with a player who, like, I swear to God, formed a crush, like an actual crush on one of the female NPCs that sort of flirted with him. And he made this like whole effort about like hitting on her all the time. And like every other opportunity he had, it was like this hitting on her. And I was like, man, this is the most awkward part to be on the other side of. And then he's like, and I got to the point where I was like almost like getting uncomfortable and like accelerating to just like, you had a great evening watching the sunset, move on, right? But he wanted to like RP the like conversation. I'm like, I am not having a romantic conversation at the sunset with you right now.
Thumbelina gets down on her knees and starts sucking your dick.
Fade to black, fuck off. And he just
Oh, except he was a paladin, so that would have not flown at all, right? Like,
dude,
just the most like kosher evening possible.
Dude, no, man, you could have roleplayed that. Like, she goes to suck your dick. You're like, no, leave room for Jesus.
No, that was her sister, and the sister was fucking somebody else. It was. Remember the quest I did early on, Flint, with the chick that was hitting on Aiden, and like early in, and I've done that quest like 3 times. In that version of it, there was 2 sisters, one that was like a goody 2-shoes, and then the one that, you know, is always trying to pick up one of the party members. And like the paladin just looked at the goody 2-shoes, and like, I'm trying to play the joke, you know, the joke campaign or the joke side quest that we did with Aiden, and the other player is just like trying to have a romantic relationship with the goody 2-shoes sister. And it's like, But it lasted the entire campaign. He fucking moved her from her small village, like back to the main city that everybody was from. And like, you know, we have downtime. What do? I go furniture shopping with this female NPC. And I was like, you know, and we're doing this and we're setting up our house. And, you know, and then like later on, he gets this whole thing where he plans the proposal. And he's like almost upset as I just kind of like describe in general text and then move on, because I don't know, man, I didn't want to be the one to receive the ring from him, you know?
Yeah.
Like that just there's a line in RP where it's like like remember that you're not flirting with NPC, you're flirting with me pretending to be an NPC. Like,
you should have just
awkward.
like had her die of polio or something. Just
oh my god, if I killed her, that player would have fucking probably quit the game.
Just say,
Like 100%. Like he basically was like, she is not allowed to be touched. It was like, okay.
Says you.
Like, I will not use her as a plot
this
device
I
if
would-
I
I
know
would say
my
the
own
dice
safety.
say otherwise and roll the dice. Polio 20. She did.
Yeah, I rolled a 4. Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Fucking antidote check.
Oh, man. Oh man, having Bryce is so much nicer.
Vaccine check, dude.
Oh no. Oh no, man. Having Bryce in the game is so much better. Like your roleplay, like you were roleplaying, man. Good, you're using your background and shit. I was like, fuck yeah, let's get it. But then, like, even in combat, it's sick because you just murder everything low level.
Yeah.
Barbarians.
That combat went so much fucking quicker than the week previous. Week previous, one goblin was just, no one could fucking roll high. No one was doing any damage. I was like, Jesus Christ. This goblin is going to take forever to die. And you just walk into a room and you're like, 1, 2, 3, fuck you, and flex on them. Oh, all right. No.
We
Goblin
fucking
slayer over here.
Flint also forgot to tell me the like how he was introducing me in. So
Yeah,
everybody in the party's like, how'd you get here? I'm like, I don't remember. I was hunting.
I was hunting.
Flint's in the
I didn't
Discord
expect-
like, oh yeah, this is why you're here. I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy.
No, man, because I was gonna tell you, and then everyone joined the voice call, and I was like, well, I don't want to spoil it for everyone else, but now Bryce is here, and like as I was typing the message, we were getting started, and I was like, and they just beelined it to the room you were in. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, why are you guys like this?
So it's been a good time. We play again tomorrow, so we'll see what's next. We're like in a little town right now.
That's cool.
So it's been a lot of the role play stuff and whatnot. Unfortunately, Fiona's gone until September. So
Oh shit, she won't be in my sessions either.
Where Fiona at?
Yeah, she's out working, dude, doing some
yeah.
abroad working.
Good
So,
for her. That's a good experience.
all right.
Well, Flint, you don't have to worry about getting the water jet to the face for a while.
yes.
I gave them a flask of endless water, and it has a description that it could shoot like a geyser, but it doesn't have like a charge limit use. So out of combat, she's just like always just like opening up a fucking geyser to push a boat to whatever. And Flint had a bunch of shit on his face, and she's like, "Let me help you with this." And she pulls up the bottle, and Flint's like, no, shit, no, don't hit me with the geyser right in the fucking face. And Flint's like, do I have any rolls for this? 4E doesn't have reflex saves. It has attacks against reflex instead.
Okay.
So I said, Fiona, roll to try to spray Flint in the face with this fucking bottle. Fucking nat 20s. And I'm like, yeah, Flint, you're just like water up your fucking sinuses. And like, he was like, ugh! And it's like, but, you know, the stuff on your face is definitely washed off.
For what it's worth.
you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Got- Moral of the story is, regardless of game, Fiona's a shithead when she plays.
So me and Flint finished Dead Island.
Okay.
Like
Yep.
I think last time I was on, we talked about we had like a little bit left, so that was good. Apparently, there's still fools on the island who are in desperate need of Capra Suns, but we just
Yeah.
dipped on them. So we're gonna start Riptide sometime soon.
Oh.
So other than that, I haven't played too much. We played a little bit of Smite last night, which is a good time. double worship shit going on this weekend, but I was gone for a week in fucking St. Lucia, which is way down there in the Caribbean.
Nice.
So it was a good time. We did.
That sounds a lot better than my week.
They have volcano there, so there's like a hot spring. So you jump in the hot spring, and then they have like a mud bath little thing. You wipe fucking mud all over yourselves and shit like that. Ate some local food. Went to a waterfall and stood under the waterfall. It was very romantic.
Ooh.
Was it like in, what is that, John Krasinski? What is it? The quiet one. Quiet Place?
Quiet Place?
Yeah. The waterfall's the safe place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I just wanted to get the fuck out right away because I didn't have water shoes or anything. So I was like walking on rocks. I'm like, ow, 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 ow. Take the picture. Get me out of here. Help.
Take the fucking picture.
And I know.
You don't get many waterfalls back in Texas, do you?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
I think I told this.
The hike me and the wife are planning to take Flint on when he comes up here is like listed as one of the top 10 hikes in the world, and it has like 4 waterfalls.
Is this the Jasper? Is this in Banff?
This is actually down in Waterton.
Oh, Waterton. Okay, yeah.
So it's still the Rockies, but instead of going west 2 hours, you go south 3.
Yeah, you go south, yeah.
Yeah.
Shannon took me for a hike in Baltimore, and their whole thing was like, there's a waterfall on it. It's like only a mile long. Okay. So I thought the waterfall was a reward at the end of the hike. The waterfall was right at the beginning of the hike, and then we went the wrong direction, and it turned 1 mile turned into 10 miles. Like,
yeah, you're telling me.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Long ass
So
hike,
yeah. So there's these mountains in St. Lucia called the Pitons. And so there's a like brewery on the island as well that they call Piton. And it's just like your generic shit beer. Our whole theme for the week while we were there was like, it's not bad, but it's not very good either. But it was not bad. I drank enough fucking Piton because we stayed at an all-inclusive resort. So I'm like, I'm getting my fucking money's worth. I drank enough Piton to never want another one in my fucking life. We literally drank all day. All day. Could not get drunk off Pitons. Could not fucking do it.
Really?
Don't know. I never experienced some shit like that in my life.
Is it a light beer then? Or it must be.
It's like, it's 5%. So that's like your standard, like Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. Maybe it's just because, maybe it's just because I was so fucking hot. Like it's so hot there that I just would fucking sweat it out or some shit like that. But yeah, fucking sat in the pool. They had like a swim up bar. It was my first time doing an all inclusive thing. Not sure I would do it again.
Depends.
But it was a good enough time. We were there for a wedding and shit, so so it was good. But
nice.
It's just really different. I'm glad we did like the excursion with the snorkeling and volcano and all that shit was something separate from all inclusive. So we got to see more of the island. But being on an all inclusive resort on an island there, you're not really like seeing shit. So like, why are you spending all this fucking money to go? Which I mean, whatever. To each their own. You know, it's still, you're in the fucking Caribbean. It's nice. The water's blue. I played fucking golf. Shit like that. But it was a good time. I managed not to get sunburnt somehow.
That's important.
I got sunburnt in Japan. And you didn't get sunburnt in the Caribbean?
No, I have these to like protect my tattoos. I have long sleeve shirts with SPF in them. And they're like SPF 50. So I fucking put SPF 70 on my arms. Then put the long sleeve shirts on.
Oh, okay.
And then
you
like,
actually just prepared for it.
Yeah. Well, I had to constantly put it on my face because my wife is very much into makeup like Akimi is. So your face getting sunburnt to her is probably the worst thing that can happen in existence.
Right.
She'll look at like some old person and be like, I bet they didn't wear sunscreen when they were younger. I'm like, okay.
So my wife was really good about putting on her sunscreen. I was like, Akimi only brought 1 bottle of sunscreen, and the sunscreen had a description like illuminates your face. And I was like, whatever. I didn't know that meant that it was full of fucking sparkles. So we're there, and it's like day one, and we're like, okay, like, it's fucking hot. The sun's out, and it's been I think it snowed the day before we got in the fucking plane in Calgary. And then it was like 25 degrees C out there and like pretty hot and humid. So she's like, here, put this on. And my arm is just fucking sparkly as shit because of this sunscreen. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm just going to burn. Like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty lucky when it comes to it. Like, I'm Irish and native. And so I burn the first time, like as soon as the sun hits me. But then usually it just turns into a tan I've never peeled in my life. And then I don't burn for the rest of the summer. Unless I get like really, but I'll fucking lobster for like 3 days and then be set. My wife is like Norwegian Japanese, and unfortunately, she didn't get the tanning part of the Japanese. She just burns all year, like a redhead, which is hilarious considering her complexion.
The one thing I was not prepared for, so like you guys, normal dude haircuts, your fucking hair just sits on top of your head. Since I grew my hair out, there's like the fucking line down the middle of your head. I was not prepared. Burnt straight down the fucking line down the middle of my head because of my long hair. I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't even take that into consideration. This is bullshit.
Some hell, dude.
What the fuck, dude? That's nature giving you a big old middle finger. What the fuck?
Yeah, fucking A. So I wore a hat
Coming down
like the
from the
rest of the time.
I never would have thought of that, but yeah, you definitely would have that just like little. I mean, and you could tell that part often doesn't get normal sun because everybody's head, like scalp, is just like, I guess as long as you're Caucasian, like it's super white, like paper white usually up there.
And it doesn't help that St. Lucia is so far south. Like you look around, you're like, where the fuck's the sun? Oh, it's straight above me.
Literally. It's just
Yeah.
I guess though, when you go down that far south, or I guess even where you live in Texas, you got your 10 hour, like your usual, like your sunset and sunrise only vary by like an hour, right? I like came home from camp and I was like, you know what? I'm really in the mood to do some photography. When's the sunset? Oh, sun sets at 11 o'clock at night and rises at 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'll just take sunset shots later in the summer. And there's just 4 months where it's never happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only dark, and it doesn't even get true dark. It only gets like half dark for like 4 hours a night right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here it'll be like 5:30 sometimes during the winter, and it will get dark. And then like during the summer, like 9 p.m. at the latest, it'll get dark. I think anyway. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I've only been here 1 year so far.
Because I had some friends that live down there, and they were like, "Yeah, in the winter it sets at 5:30, in the summer it sets at like 7:30."
Yeah,
because they moved up to Canada, where then it was like in the winter it sets at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and then in the summer it sets at like midnight.
Yeah,
there's like 3 hours of darkness, and I kind of get used to it in the summer. I find I just sleep like 6 hours a night, but still feel fully rested because it's just like I fell asleep at sunset and I woke up at sunrise. But then in the winter, you're like, cool, it's dark at 3 and then sunrise is at like 9.
Talking about this for this long?
Yeah,
Hell
you know
yeah.
what? I got going. You know me. Nobody stopped me. It's all your fault.
Trevor, how was your week?
It was pretty good. How about yours?
Well, I mean,
I don't have this whole story of how I went and had this nice vacation in the Caribbean. My week was actually quieter than most.
I watched Shield Hero.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, we already talked on the Monday episode. If you had heard it, about these episodes that already came out. So I mean,
Okay, so shut the fuck up. And what did you do Monday through fucking now?
I'll have you know, it was Tuesday through now because we recorded on Monday.
Matt, how was your week? Fuck.
My week was great, dude. Thanks for asking. Basically just been unpacking, finding out shit that I still need, figuring stuff out. Bought a lot of beer. Been drinking a lot of beer.
Wow, get yourself some Piton.
Oh, I'm good by the sounds of it. I was telling the guys before we started recording, while I was packing stuff up and stuff, I found my old CD of Escape from Monkey Island, which is the 4th game. and I was like, "Oh, this game's fucking great! Oh my god, it's so much fun! I gotta try to get it my modern day PC." It won't, because Windows is like, nah, bro, you can't do that. So I was fucking Googling it and trying to find a way to get this old CD working. The game's on Steam for like $5. So I just bought it.
Hell yeah.
Way she goes. So other than that, more fucking Godzilla came out. Woo!
Yeah, have you
The
seen
movie?
it?
New Godzilla movie.
Have you seen it
I
yet, though?
have seen it. I have seen it.
How many times?
And
It's fucking good. Like, it's really fucking good.
I saw some tweet that was like, "Oh my god, Godzilla is just like another Pacific Rim. Who wants to watch this?" I'm like, me. Pacific Rim is the shit. I will watch it if it's like that for sure.
We can do a whole video, I feel like, on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, seriously, because I fucking hate that website, man.
I mean, I think I ranted half the last episode I was on about the Rotten Tomato scores of Detective Pikachu. Well, this movie is really not that forgiving to people that aren't Pokemon fans. Then don't fucking watch it if you're not a Pokemon fan.
Yeah,
No
This is
shit.
made for the fans, not for
Bro,
you fucking
bro.
dumbasses.
Bro. So a big criticism of Godzilla 2014 is if you compile all the Godzilla time, that was the one with Bryan Cranston and the kid from
Yeah.
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
And Mothra.
Mothra's not in that one.
Oh,
So
shit.
Mothra's in the new one.
There was
I'm gonna-
another one. There was some monster in that one though. That wasn't
Yeah,
Godzilla.
It was
right?
called Muto. It like stood for something. Anyway,
That wasn't
doesn't
a
matter.
real
Doesn't
one?
matter.
Okay,
That wasn't
all
what's that? No.
Okay.
Mothra's in the new one, and Mothra's
Okay.
dope. They made Mothra kind of cool. I know the meme is Matt hates Mothra. Legit though. I gotta talk this up because this is important. This is important. So a big criticism was if you compile all of the Godzilla time of that movie, it's about 7 minutes. You get about 7 minutes of Godzilla.
yeah, it was really
And
just
an hour and 40. That kind of sucks, right? And they save Godzilla for the end, kind of, and that's where he fights. And people are like, characters weren't that great. So this movie, they give you a shit ton of monster fights. It's fucking great. Like, it's a lot. Guess what the critics are saying? Not enough people screen time. We didn't get enough people. It's like, the movie's called Godzilla King of the Monsters.
But I guess
You. Like, are you kidding me?
I
He's
guess
just
it's
out here trying
different.
to T-pose.
The movie has a 90% audience score, 40% critic score, and all these critic bullshit. It's all just like, I have always hated the term, "Oh, the pacing sucks." It's like, what do you mean? What does that mean? The pacing sucks. You have to give me a better example rather than just saying a blanket statement that covers a film. For example, I can give you pacing examples in, like, I think the Harry Potter movies. Some of them have really, really weird pacing examples. Scenes that go really fast and then scenes that go really stretched out for no reason.
Or Game of Thrones season 7.
Game of Thrones season 7, or you could even argue season 8, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, that's a pacing issue. Just saying this movie does not have pacing. This movie, if you want to make the argument that maybe some of the characters could have had a little bit more flesh, that's fine. I don't really give a fuck about them. I wanted to see Godzilla fight Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Guess what I saw? Godzilla fight those three monsters. It was fucking great. And this is like the first time an American studios created these monsters. And it was fucking awesome. And people loved it. People were excited. It's a good action, fun movie. But the critics are so far up their own ass that they're like, "Oh, this movie sucks." Meanwhile, they'll give a movie like The Last Jedi 95%. But audience score was around 50. What does that tell you? How disconnected are these people? I think
That's money.
That's money. Exactly. Disney said, no, you got to make this movie good. Even though I saw the other video. I don't know if you guys seen this guy on YouTube, Mahler. I just got into him recently. He made a 3-part, hour and a half to 2 hours. Like, each one is 2 hours, hour and a half, whatever, on The Last Jedi. And he goes literally like frame by frame and he just talks about it. And it really changed my opinion on that movie quite a lot. I was
Made it shit, you mean? Or
oh, he just explains why, like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense. And for me, I was like, hey, I hear you, Mahler. I hear you. It's got millions of views on YouTube. It's really blown up. So, and the point is I'm trying to make is it's a fun movie and go fucking watch it. It's cool. It's Godzilla. I don't know. It's going to do well overseas. It's going to do really well.
Dude, Godzilla Street probably fucking popping right now. Probably popping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Got the mouth going and everything
Oh, yeah.
up
I
there
bet, dude.
on that bit.
I bet.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to go see it this morning.
Fucking sick, dude.
But I held off, so I'll probably do it tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna watch it tonight again.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm gonna try to catch Detective Pikachu tonight. I'm still catching up from Japan to bedridden, up all night, sleeping all day, to here's my week. Dirt, cool. And then now I'm back.
Did
That's
you
my
like
week.
Detective Pikachu?
What's
It was
that?
pretty good. It was pretty good, Detective Pikachu.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah,
It was
it's-
sick.
My
I liked
hype
it. I
was
liked it.
almost dangerously high, but I've generally heard positive things, so I'm like,
Yeah, I
really
liked it.
pumped
No,
for
it's fun. It's fun. Did you get
That's
a
what I'm
card, Flint, when you saw it?
Hell yeah, I got the coffee break Pikachu card and those little like fucking fairy sprout ones. I can't remember the name because it's like Gen 7 or 8.
Yo, prepare to get bodied. Got Magikarp, bitch.
I wanted Magikarp. I'm actually upset now. I'm actually pissed.
I got Magikarp. I was like, yeah.
Dude, they're like, you could get Charizard GX. I'm like,
Get
no,
the
you
fuck
can't.
out of here with that shit. Give me the flop, dude.
They're not gonna put that in there. Oh, yeah, that movie was sick. That was
That's fun.
quality.
That's a fun movie. So yeah, no, Godzilla was dope. I'm gonna watch it again. Maybe I'll do like a talk about it later. I don't know.
By you, Flint.
Yeah, Flint, what you got?
Oh, what have I been up to? Holy shit. I've been playing some Smite. That's been actually pretty fun. I'm playing with the boys, playing with Trevor, Define Pride. Right, yesterday. That was pretty hype. I bounced a little early on you guys yesterday. Apologies, I was tired.
Literally,
take
just
a
dip.
nap.
See you later. Leaves Discord.
Yeah, I was really
Dude,
confused.
I
I
was-
was like, wait, did Flint just drop out of... Is he lagging? What happened?
Like you guys were all like talking about random horse shit. Define Pride yelling about his Four Loco, and I was like trying to interject, like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave now. Time to go." And then I was like, "You know what? Fuck, I'm just going to bed." I just hung up. I was like, all right, not doing a whole long goodbye. You guys
Fuck this.
I was like, all right, we good. But that was pretty good. I also been playing more Total War Warhammer. I'm back on that bullshit, but for a specific reason, and I'm trying to like. Basically, I'm just looking at all the units and like seeing like, man, that'd be fun to put in D&D. I don't know, my fucking slide that in.
You're in that world now. You can't watch
Yeah.
a movie without being like, I'd really like to do an NPC like that, or man, that'd be
Yeah.
a fun character to make, or ooh, that was a really cool story twist. You're stuck now. Everything now. You're thinking about the writing. You're thinking about how you can steal it because D&D is all about stealing other people's ideas and making them your own and delivering it. That's it.
Yeah.
You after I started playing D&D, I couldn't watch media without being like, "Ooh, I like that. I'm going to use that."
Yeah. So, Bryce, you see some off the wall shit suddenly pop out. Get ready.
You're in a cave. Mothra's appeared. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I've already shown Mechagodzilla more than once.
What else? Man, I watched Predator, The Predator, the fourth one this week. That was
You
That
talking
was-
about the newest one?
that was a movie. Yeah, the newest one. I liked it. It seemed like they were trying to go back to what Predator was in the 80s. Jesus
Which one?
Christ, Netflix. I don't know if that got picked.
Not Predators. Predator.
No, the Predator. It's called. They're back to. Well, there's more than one Predator, but they're back.
It's- oh,
I wish
yeah,
you know what? That's my pet peeve when people don't number fucking titles correct. Just number it. Predator
Dude,
4. Okay, go.
Aliens. Alien
Yeah.
3. Alien Requisition.
Resurrection.
or Resurrection.
I'm gonna be
Part.
real.
Yeah.
I thought the Predator was terrible. It even for a Predator movie. I was
never saw
question
it.
mark spamming.
I'm a bigger
It,
Alien guy than Predator. I didn't see
It went the comedy route for a lot of it, which was a little questionable.
Really weird comedy too. It just
It
like,
wasn't
they
funny
were
either. Yeah.
milking it.
I feel like I want another movie that's like the first Predator, where everyone just fucking tense as shit, and they're like, "Where the fuck is this thing? How is this thing gonna fucking eviscerate me?" And they just didn't have that for a lot of it. And a lot of it has to do with preparation, I guess. Like they were more prepared for the Predator. They're like, okay, we're gonna suit up. The one sequence where the Predator escapes that was fucking sick, though. Trevor, you got
That was so stupid. Oh,
What do you mean he was fucking?
Hold up. I
What
feel
do
like we
you
need
mean?
a new segment on the show called like movie versus, or this versus that or something like
I've pitched the idea a few
Yeah.
times that we should have like
I feel
when
like
we have
this could
strong
be a
opinions
contender.
set up
I
like
feel
a
like
boxing
this,
match.
I mean, for me, it's this way. Like
For
for
me,
me, Trevor versus this way. However, it's set up in the layout. I feel like you guys got to save this, rewatch the movie, and then come back to us with your notes.
Here's the thing.
I've been saying Flint
no.
need to do this with the new Star Wars movies.
That'd be good.
Oh my god, yeah, I gotta rewatch those motherfuckers if that's the case.
I mean, the only problem with that is I'd have to rewatch that garbage.
Ooh.
Well, hold on. I don't call it garbage.
See? Okay. I'll talk y'all about Godzilla. I don't give a fuck.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll defend that shit.
Hold on. But before we move on, Trevor, what the fuck? That dude was ripping through the entire base. He was like, oh, dude, AR, hold it sideways, kill shot. Gat! Killing everyone. It was amazing.
Yeah.
No, he gatted them. He walked up, he was like, that's an assault rifle. And then everyone just died. He was like, yeah, I'm the predator, bitch. Suck
Nothing
my dick.
in that
Suck my
movie.
weird alien dick. Probably got a mouth on it, like my mouth on my face, but it's on my dick. That was what the predator. Okay.
That
See,
is a disturbing
right.
visual.
Yeah.
That-
I think that made me turn to.
yeah. That movie was in that state
Terrifying.
of purgatory between trying to make literally no sense and be good and trying to, rob any sense of logic from this movie and a normal movie. It's like it's not so bad it has to be funny or amusing because of it. It's like it almost tried. And you're like, why? Why did you clearly vaguely tried in this movie? Just pick one. Make it really good. Make it make a lot of sense. At least try to follow some lore. Have some decent characters that have maybe a brain. Or have nothing. Don't even try. And make it a good old B movie kind of thing. They failed at doing either of those, which is why it's terrible.
Called out.
Don't battle me in the movie debate.
My
step up to
thesis
the
is
plate.
that scene was fucking dope.
It was so bad.
Trevor being like, listen, the movie doesn't make sense. It's got plot holes. It's fundamentally doesn't work as a film. The theme doesn't work. Like, yo, he got that.
I told you, Trevor can't just fucking watch a movie and watch it. He's gonna fucking.
Yes,
let me tell you what.
Detective Pikachu is the perfect example of a movie that makes no fucking sense, but I enjoyed it because they knew how to.
Because you played Pokemon 1 through fucking 80 already. No wonder you like.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you
I played
have.
the first ones. I played the first ones and a little bit of Pokemon Go, and that's it. I'm not.
You
I didn't
fucking
even know
played
I had
Pokemon
Pokemon
Dreamcast edition.
What?
Dreamcast?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even own
But-
Pokemon Red or
Dude,
Blue.
Bryce
Come on,
won
bro.
another timeline or something. They made
Yeah,
Dreamcast
what?
Pokemon games.
Dude, I
Fucking
fucking
take me
Trevor's
there.
got it.
Holy.
I
Trevor's
fucking
got
wish. Trevor's
Wait a
got it.
second. I don't own anything Pokemon in my room. What
Hold
the?
up. Speaking of Pokemon Sleep. What's up with that, boys?
We gotta
Okay,
ask.
I've literally only heard
Brian's
the name
week.
and I thought it was a meme.
Yeah, so did I. I thought
Brian,
it
you
was
want to tell us about your week first before we get to talk about sleep?
no.
Dirt
let's
and then
go.
Dauntless.
There
Okay,
you go. Play Dauntless.
listen.
Not
Okay,
as good as Monster Hunter, but it's
Oh,
okay.
you're gonna give me shit for mine, and then come on, bro. Wow.
Let's go. We gotta talk
Look,
about
dude,
Pokemon.
I worked 10
sleep.
day
I
sets,
sleep.
and like literally in the last week, 7 days of those were moving dirt.
Just playing Pokemon. You guys go ahead.
If
They
I
had
talked
this
about
whole-
work, these guys would fall asleep.
they had this whole thing, Pokemon event, right? So there was a couple Pokemon announcements. There's like some fucking mobile game shit. One of them is like, play so long, you're gonna have to re-up with your fucking money and shit like that to keep playing. Typical mobile game shit.
Cool.
One of the games that came out of this whole thing, it has been dubbed Pokemon Nap. Okay, see what they did there with Snap, but it's called Pokemon Sleep.
Okay.
And what it's meant to do is like monitor it, turning your sleep into entertainment, we'll say. They're monitoring you while you sleep
Okay.
so that you can then use the fucking shit from when you sleep for Pokemon Go type stuff.
Okay, I thought it would be its own game because I was like, you know what?
It
I'm
is.
actually intrigued by the idea of just being like, look, this game, like, you know how all these other games have timers and shit, right? And I found what's often happened to me is, you know, I'll play these fucking phone games when I get into them, and okay, it's time to go to bed, but time to like set all of my stuff for like it's 12-hour timers and bullshit, right? And then it'll be like 11 o'clock at night. I'll set my fucking 24-hour timer, and then something will happen tomorrow, and I need to go to bed at like 10. Or I'm now like in this like, do I stay up an hour to set my timers because phone games can become addicting? And so I was like, wait, if the timer only works while I can detect you're sleeping, I was kind of intrigued by that idea. It was like, all right, it's kind of like a play on like you got all day to do your shit and you can recharge overnight.
So what you can do with Pokemon Go, right?
Hate it.
With Pokemon Go, you hook it up to the Pokemon Go Plus, right? Makes it easier to fucking play Pokemon Go.
Right.
So these motherfuckers over here working on Pokemon, they all sat down at this table. They're like, all right, we need a device to work with Pokemon Sleep, and we need a name for it. What do you guys want to name it? There's plenty of names available. Pokemon, literally insert any word here. The decision that they went with, one motherfucker stood up and he said, listen, I got an idea, guys. Let's name it Pokemon Go Plus. Hear me out. Plus.
I was literally hoping that someone stood up.
Were
and
you
said,
in the meeting?
Pokemon go to the polls. I was
Pokemon Go Plus Plus is the device that you're hooking up to your Pokemon Sleep to fucking track your shit.
Plus.
This lore is already too complicated for me. I'm going to be real.
You know, it'd be one thing if they like pitched this whole thing to like, okay, we want to breed a healthy gaming environment since we have gaming disorders now where people won't sleep. And
yeah, dude.
It's not a good habit and shit like that. Instead of going with that route, their whole route was like, well, yeah, well, now you can sleep. Play some more Pokemon Go when you wake up. Okay. So I just think it's funny that everybody looks at it as like, okay, woo, more Pokemon, baby. Let's do this shit. When really, now motherfucking Nintendo is tracking what you do at all hours of the day. They got your sleeping patterns. They got where you fucking wake up, where you go to bed, motherfucker, where you're walking, fucking catch Pokemon, shit like that. Motherfucker, Nintendo owns you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
but I mean, real talk. I mean, there's a lot of apps on your phone that track your location. I
was gonna say, they couldn't
blindly give
possibly-
access.
It don't
That's what
track when
Google
you're
already
fucking
does.
chewing on your pillow.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's true.
But at the
you
same
were to
time,
ask-
if
you were to
it's
ask
checking your
YouTube,
location.
I am constantly on my phone while I'm asleep. Because I
Yeah.
just put on a YouTube video of like, I don't know, whatever.
I think though too, I mean, you're in general, your phone, it's like Google could probably track like they were Googling at this time and they were responding at this time. And hell, they could probably even track for those of us addicted enough. Cool. They checked it, then they put it away for 8 hours. Clearly that's when they've slept. And then, oh, hey, they've woken up and they've checked it again. Because let's be honest, most of us check it before bed and when we wake up because we're all addicted fools, right?
Yeah. He went from, hey, who up?
I'm pretty sure
5
Google
minutes
knows
later,
more
right?
about us
Yeah,
than
but
Pokemon ever will.
Unless you sleep with your phone in bed, your phone has no way of knowing like when you wake up unless you start fucking with it. The Pokemon Go
But
Plus
we all
Plus
do.
is
That's
the
what I
Pokemon
just
Go Plus
stated.
Plus
It
is
was
going
like
to
we
be
pretty much
in
all
bed
do.
with you.
What
Do you
Brian
put
is
your like?
basically
Are you
saying
one of
is-
those actual responsible people that like charges your phone in the living room, Bryce?
No, I charge it on the nightstand at bed.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
Next to my bed. Yeah.
Chances are you're probably sitting there catching your last minute like YouTube videos or other video websites before bed, and then you put your phone away, and then you wake up and you're checking your Discord messages as soon as you wake up. It's probably Google could probably approximate pretty fucking close when you're sleeping anyway.
Yeah.
You're right.
They already have the data, right, of when you're most responsive.
I got the fucking watch on to like track all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's actual sleeping apps that people are using to try to maintain health.
It's actually pretty useful. It's like this is when you're sleeping. You gotta change something up. You're only getting like an hour of deep sleep I looked down and I was like, oh fuck, guess I gotta fix that.
I should try some of that. I've usually slept
good
usually
info to
so
have.
well though that it's just been like I don't really need it.
Since I got a new bed, I've been sleeping way fucking better. Like,
Oh
my
man,
old,
world
like,
changing. I
ooh,
think I did a
when you get
whole
new
podcast
bed-
where all I
Yeah,
talked
dude.
about was my new bed.
That's basically what I'm feeling right now. I'm like, I get up, I feel like I rose 3 days later after being dead. You know, like I'd say it's akin to
I don't
that
get my
feeling.
bed every night because of camp. So it's like, all right, Japan, fucking futon mattresses, come back. First night in my actual bed, glorious, right?
Maybe it's 'cause
Go to
we were
camp,
drunk most of the
10
time.
days
I
in a
found the
shitty bed,
beds-
come home, first night. Oh,
Maybe it's because me and Flip were drunk most of the time. I found the beds in Japan to be really comfortable.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
but when it was sleepy time, it was fucking time to gnaw on that bitch.
true.
Yeah, like gnaw on that fucking pillow. Climb up, just
That's true. We weren't
those
up for
beds were
long.
so hard. Look, I also outweigh both of you by like 60 pounds. So, that's a lot of weight to put on a fucking futon mattress.
Fair enough.
Ugh, that was I would wake up 3 times every night on that futon mattress because my shoulder would be in so much pain I'd have to go put the pain on the other shoulder.
Yeah,
And
the
then-
main thing I thought was dumb was just the name of the, like, you could name it anything. Name it Pokemon Sleep Plus. The fuck is Pokemon Go Plus Plus? Xbox One, hear me out. X.
One. Oh yeah, Xbox One
Ooh.
X.
Okay, to be fair, I thought the Xbox One X was a little bit creative, where it's like then you're spelling out Xbox again. Because when they went Xbox One, you could kind of tell that they had this plan all along so they could still spell Xbox. Pokemon Go Plus Plus. I mean, what do they add for the next
Pokemon
thing?
Go plus nap or sleep sounds good though. Go plus sleep, because then you're still doing it.
Yeah, then it's kind of almost
we've also
like,
neglected to mention they have Snorlax they could have used to like fucking brand it, like
Oh.
No,
yeah.
Flint, Flint, you should have been at that meeting,
Yep.
Mr. Collins.
several sleepy Pokemon. I'm just
What about,
throwing
like,
it out there. I'm not
even better, like
Jigglypuff.
Pokemon Let's Go Snorlax.
Yeah.
There you go. Pokemon
We've got Let's Go
Snorlax.
Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu,
That's
Let's Go
what they're-
Snorlax.
That's what they kind of sold it as advertising wise. There's a lot of Snorlax memes and shit around it, directly coming from.
Good.
That's what I'm saying. If
Niantic.
you're already doing it, you might as well name it right.
Yeah.
I hear you, Bryce. I hear you, Bryce.
All right.
I
So
don't
what
know.
else? Are we
I
talking
don't think
about?
it's that big of a deal.
I just
overall,
thought it's kind of ridiculous.
I'm paranoid too. So the government's coming for us. We're gonna use Nintendo.
Hey,
Fortnite.
take me out. Let's just get it over with. Thank God.
Drone's
Like,
striking
the only
right
thing
now.
with the Google to like Pokemon comparison is does Japan have the same kind of like data privacy laws that like North America has that keeps
know.
Google from giving the government everything we have? I mean, assuming
But
we...
does that matter if the servers are over here? I mean, Niantic is Niantic even in Japan? I thought they're here.
I thought they were a European company.
I don't know. That's,
I'm looking right now.
that's above my pay grade, dude.
To be fair, I didn't even
California.
realize
They're
that many
headquartered- yeah.
people were still playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
I
so
tried
they
to
have
get
a
into it
dedicated
when it
phone.
came out. Yeah, like more than I realized, but I tried to play
Yeah.
it when it first came out, and I hated the way the Pokestops worked because where I lived, the closest Pokestop was like 3 kilometers away. And I'm like, am I really gonna like wander 3 kilometers and go sit at a fucking bus station just to like collect Pokemon? Meanwhile, my wife at that time,
You
she was playing a lot of
Pokemon
Pokemon
trainer?
Go
You
because she was at
Pokemon
the
trainer?
fucking school.
Walk 3 kilometers.
Right? It was, but then my Akimi, she played a lot of Pokemon Go because she was working on her thesis when she was finishing her PhD, and so she would just sit. She was hooked on Pokemon Go, so instead of working in her lab, she just went to the student union building, which had like 4 Pokestops. She would just sit in the center, and then there was so many people hooked on it that there was a lure on it at all times. So she just sat there working on her thesis and then just catching Pokemon with like her right hand, and then working on her thesis and then catching Pokemon. Because she was just
Yeah.
sit there in like this sweet spot of 4
Farming,
fucking
dude.
Pokestops.
Top tier farming strats.
It's
Yeah.
far from dead. I got into it when it started. Then I quit for a long time, and then last year I played it again for a few months. But even around me, there's like group chats in our local city, and you join, and there's just people getting ready to raid. They say they're on a cycle. 5 minutes to this raid, everyone meet here. There's 20, 25 people there. All right, 5 minutes, next raid. You go.
I feel like it's a
and there's
big
usually a
city
couple.
thing, for sure.
But we're in a small, like we're on the outskirts. So like Atlanta has its own. We're just like a suburban.
Yeah.
Not suburban.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
Yeah. But then like when they have the community day once a month for like a shiny of one Pokemon, you get 1 million of them.
Wow.
Where it's usually like there's a couple places in town where there's a bunch of Pokestops all together, and so like there's this one park right down the street, and you'll go, and there's literally hundreds of people just doing the route. Like this park is never more populated than that day, and it is literally packed to the like there are no parking spaces. People are just walking the routes. And catching a shit ton of shinies. So everybody loses their mind when they get what they want, and they got their perfects, and everybody, it's like an actual community thing. I never felt more in tune with like I'd never seen more parts of my city than when I did that. So like while I did fall out of it, and mentally at some point you realize you're just collecting digital fucking pieces of data. It doesn't fucking matter. Once you're in most games, when you're in it though. Yeah. Once you're in the mentality though, and you kind of ignore that, like you do actually see so much parts of the outside that maybe you never wouldn't have visited. Depending on where you live and where your Pokestops are, that may not be really beneficial. Around here, for me, it was. I found a lot of parks and lakes and even just met so many people around here.
I feel like there wouldn't be anything in my neighborhood because my neighborhood's only like 5 years old, 6 years old. And a lot of that Niantic stuff is like historic places and like well-known areas. And it's a lot of their data was grabbed from their previous games that would have been logged. And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, this new part of town built 5 years ago. I'd have to drive somewhere.
Well,
so maybe it would force you to go drive to a park.
They made a lot of adjustments after like the initial release. Because Pokemon Go is such a popular game that there are a lot of places that were originally stops that didn't want to be one anymore. And, the opposite. There are a lot of places that wanted to be stops. Like there's a lot of things around me that did not exist when Pokemon Go came out. But in time, once they came to exist, they became Pokestops. And some companies have deals like Starbucks. Every Starbucks is a Pokestop. Like
really?
It is. Yeah. I don't know if that's a decision based on franchise or location, but every time you see a Starbucks, it is a Pokestop.
That's probably Starbucks. They probably knew what they were doing.
Tim Hortons should have done the same because in Canada be really into it. I guess the only other thing I'm gonna say is an excuse for me not to get exercise playing this game is man, those community events sound miserable in December in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, 100%.
25 people show up in summer, and you're like, you know what? I don't need a shiny Scyther because it's minus 30 outside. Like,
you need the shiny perfect. That's what
there is just weather out here, and then when it's July and it's 30 degrees, humid, and everything's on fire, you're like, lung cancer, but shiny Bulbasaur. You're like.
See, you keep changing the script. First it was Scyther, now it's Bulbasaur. Which one are you going?
Well, because the Scyther was in winter and the Bulbasaur was in summer. Obviously.
Jeez, man, I can't keep
up. Keep up, man.
This is bullshit, man. You keep changing the script, dog.
Grass
like Scyther's gonna be chilling in winter, dude. He's a bug.
Matt, you hit him with the lore. You hit him with it.
That's a good point, man. Like, what happens in the winter? What if there's like fucking? What happens in the blizzard?
It's all cold and
like,
shit. He's gonna go south. He's got flying type. He's gonna go south for the winter.
You're right. Canada would have a lot. Canada would have. I haven't even know what we would have because like Pokemon games like to have the areas that are just miserable cold all the time that the ice Pokemon live.
Yeah.
But then the ice Pokemon, I don't know. They'd have to hibernate in the summer here.
Yeah.
We'd have to go in a freezer. Forehead.
I mean, if you go by Pokemon Go, my area of the world is just drowsy. It is just like more drowsy per square foot than any other Pokemon.
That sounds like a pretty accurate description of Ontario.
I have Stantlers and fucking Tauros because we got a lot of. And is there a moose Pokemon like a dead ass?
Yeah.
I don't know if there is.
Well, not. I don't think moose, but there's big ass. What's the
Miltank?
The deer one.
Miltank. We got Stantler.
Nope, that's a moose. Yep, that's Milk Tank is a moose. Yep.
We got Milk Tank, we got a cow, we got Toro. Yeah, just a lot of farm animals, and then like Geodude in the rock, like Onyx and shit, like Golem.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
We guys think about October 25th of 2019.
I mean, I'm debatably excited. Talking about Modern Warfare.
I figured.
This
I'm
kind
more-
of
I'm more
stems
excited
into our
for
community
Halo,
challenge a bit, though.
Modern Warfare, I'm like, I want to play Halo.
Yeah. Should we do the community challenge now before we get into this? Because I feel like we're gonna cross too many streams here.
We can get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, is that good with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me, dude.
Okay.
I put the last call out because when we posted the COD one is for next week. Am I insane?
Yeah, called
that? Yeah.
The shooter one's next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a bunch of responses for that yesterday.
Yeah. Well, going forward, I think we should have a much cleaner schedule where people can understand how we're going to do it. Yeah. And this should give them enough time as well to put what they want out there.
So next week, our question about COD is going on the next episode. And then every Friday after that, we are posting a community challenge an episode ahead. That way, everyone can answer quickly or have a lot of time to answer.
Not going to post on Wednesday and record on Thursday like we've done in the past.
That is the intent.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
Intent. Whether or not we can do that, I think it's very possible.
And I got calendar reminders now. We're good. We Gucci.
Hell yeah, brother. Okay, so expect that. So COD is next week. We will read those responses next week. This week was. Let me just go to the announcements. How does everyone feel about big developers in this day and age? Do you feel like they're goodbyes? Do we still think that any game that comes in from one of the big boys is going to be like, yep, this is going to be gold standard AAA title, perfect? Or are we more like just looking for genres, not as hesitant towards indie developers? Well, what are your thoughts? That was our community challenge this week. I have one submission from Discord.
So I'll get started and then we'll read some kind of get us going. So I feel like there's two spots for me with big developers. There's some big developers that make, the games and we're still hyped for. Like a Witcher 4, I mean, it's a decently big developer now. There'd be fucking tons of hype. Rockstar, when they made Red Dead Redemption 2, they're definitely a big developer. Fucking
Rockstar made GTA.
GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, if GTA 6 comes out, like, you can't tell me that people won't be fucking hype as shit. All right. But then there's the other half where I think this probably part of this question stems is from some of the almost not even the developers, but like the large publishers, where they've clearly got their mitts in, where you see these games and what really I see is gorgeous graphics and microtransactions. And you feel like, but that
depends on the type of game.
Depends on the type of game. But I mean, there's been all kinds. I mean, like, there's sports games now with tons of microtransactions. Like I heard that one of the NBA games was like one of the most egregious, like pay to win games ever put out. Yeah. But it like makes money. Or, there's the big Battlefront. Like Battlefront was a huge series, right? It was never pay to win. It was buy the cartridge and play. Really popular. Then the new one comes out and it's like, set the precedent for, oh my God, the microtransaction community.
Darth Vader is literally going to cost you.
Yeah. And so I think some of that, taints the vision we have for the actual, like, really hype. Like, I'm really excited for to try it out. What's that new game that's being made by the guys that made Witcher?
The future one.
Cyberpunk 2077.
That's it.
Right? Like, just that developer, after the success of Witcher 3 and Witcher 2, Studio Red, I'd argue is a, pretty much AAA developer at this point. People are hyped just for the sheer existence of, the Cyberpunk game. Like, no knowledge, unique story. It could flop, but they're also not the kind of company that will ever just make it a microtransaction ridden shithole. That's right. They've basically made their stance on not doing that. So there's the two sides. The yes, we're still hype, and the oh God, here's another microtransaction thing. Why are millions of people playing it? Right? Like, I feel like the larger, like certain, there was tons of outrage about Battlefront. And then you look at the numbers and how many people were playing it, and you're like, who are these people that are like not vocally in this like weeb culture that are just pumping millions of dollars into it?
Sometimes online we forget that, like, because we see something on Twitter that has like 300,000 likes, and we're like, holy fuck, everybody's blown up. Like, that's like Vancouver has 1 million people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, probably more. And
Yeah.
that's a smaller
America has 300 million people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
So
350.
when we see something that says 300,000 likes, that is people possibly spread out throughout America, Canada, and Europe based on time, right? So sometimes I think that we forget that, and also that the world will not be saved online. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many people who are out doing things and not being on the computer. So sometimes I think people get caught up in that social media buzz, right? And then they go outside and you say something like alt-right or SJW. If you say those to a random, they're going to look at you, what? Like, on people throw at each other, right? So it's kind of an interesting thing. I think people forget that there's forests and trees out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Or some give no shit about Battlefield.
that's not just the Pokemon Go map. That's actually like a place. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Actually, though, that's a good point. Like, even just talking about, I mean, I was mentioning about the random people, and I'll still never forget this. Was when it was the last PC game I bought like actual discs for, and I bought Guild Wars 2 like the day it released because I was really pumped for it because I really liked Guild Wars 1.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, still went and bought the disc, and I went day of release. I bought it from the store, and there was like lineups of people, and I was like, oh yeah, everybody's pumped for Guild Wars 2 because I remember the lineups for like World of Warcraft when I bought those discs. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people buying Guild Wars 2. And the lady was like sitting there holding the new NHL in her hand, and she's like, oh, you're not here for that. And then like put it away and like grab Guild Wars 2. You're like the first person that's been here in hours that's bought Guild Wars 2. One, it was at that transition time where people are actually just buying digital instead. And I was like one of the few people. They only ordered like 30 copies of Guild Wars 2 in the store. And I was like super pumped for this release, massive release. And then meanwhile, like NHL 20, whatever it was, like 2014 was just like lineups out the door. And I kind of sometimes forget that.
Yeah.
And those guys aren't here on the Weeb forums being like, yeah, Persona 5 is great. They're like, the what now? Like, their purchase history is like Call of Duty and the newest NHL every year.
They might get Skyrim.
And be like, dude, I love swords, and then put like 10 hours into it total.
Hey, man.
That's a gatekeeping statement if I've ever heard one.
No, dude.
Come on,
I'm generalizing
bro.
the people I've met.
Oh
I'm generalizing my cousin, and I'm generalizing my coworkers. Oh, I play games. Oh yeah, what do you play? Yeah, I play NHL and Call of Duty.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that,
it's like
Brian?
it's not so much that there's a problem with them doing the gaming. It's that I'm not going to bond over it.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, like there's no bonding of like, yeah, we're definitely both gamers, because it's like I have zero interest in playing what you're playing, and you have zero interest in playing what I'm playing.
I bet they put
So
more
it's a similar
hours- I
hobby
bet
that
they
we will
put more
never
hours
share together.
Series than you have in any game ever. They've been playing that shit since '93. And out
Yeah,
here,
many of them have
you
more gaming hours
stepping on
than I
these
do.
people. I don't appreciate that.
And again, it's not meant to shit
Gamers
on them. It's more
rise
just
up.
we are
bro.
not clearly
It's
going to
the
bond
same
over our
bread,
game.
homie. It's the same bread.
You
I-
haven't
you think
spent
you're-
your entire life savings on the Fate mobile game? Don't you fucking talk to me about being a gamer! You take that normie ass shit back to fucking the Bachelorette, homie! Don't you dare!
Oh,
All right, what do people have to say?
that does not affect
Yeah,
Bryce at all. It's sitting there, it's like he's probably been saying this all the time. Like, I actually really like NHL, man.
Yeah, dude, NHL's
It is fun.
It's not meant to
I was
shit on
thinking about
NHL.
getting- I was
It
thinking about
isn't
getting
meant to shit on NHL. It's just
I
to
was
say that like
thinking
my
about, like,
side of
getting a new
gaming
NBA.
doesn't see their side of gaming that often, and sometimes you forget just like how many millions of people are playing games that like I don't even look at. Like they don't even
was-
show up in my recommended feeds because my PlayStation is a mini Google and it knows what I tend to look at, and it won't even recommend these games to me.
I was thinking about getting the new NBA, and then I read about how pay to win and shit, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I just
They're
wanted
talking
to
about
play the
coming out
campaign.
with NCAA football again.
Oh, yeah.
NCAA football with fucking fire.
What about what was it was like football game where you could like part of the game was like hitting people and like breaking their legs.
NFL Street.
Blitz. Well, Blitz was the
Oh,
first
Blitz.
one.
It was
Oh,
Blitz.
come on. NFL Street was so much better. Come on, bruh.
No, okay. I don't know if it was just funny, like quick story. My friend had a PSP and he brought it to science classes and I was like, I had done my work and I asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind if I play? He's like, yeah, all I got is this NFL game, this NFL Street game. Now, I don't know if I was playing on a bad difficulty or whatever, but as an experiment, I beat a computer by like 10 touchdowns, like ridiculous, by running the same play.
Yeah, you
Just
can do that.
constantly. I never changed it up. Like not
I
one
had
time.
the PSP too, dude. That game was so much fun.
Yeah. Even I was like, okay, I know the guy's not gonna catch it because 3 defense men on it, but I'm still gonna throw it to him every time.
And that's the one where you could see like people's bones breaking and shit like that.
No,
Right?
that was Street. Blitz was like you could see people's bones break. That game was fucking sick. That
Street
game
was
fun to
like
play.
you could jump off the wall.
Yeah, and you could like have the ball and like throw.
Oh
it.
yeah, you could do that. Yeah,
you could do like
some
dirty shit in the. The street, homie.
F in the chat.
F
But
in the
yeah,
chat.
Matt, you're right. Let's get you some comments.
Let's get
We'll
you some
interweave our thoughts in here as we go.
Yeah.
Flit, do us the honor.
Flint, hit us with it.
You want me to hit you with the one submission? Hell yeah.
Hit me.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All right. Luckily, this topic kind of stems in the next week a little bit,
That's
so
right.
we can
We out here.
we can flesh this out.
Fuck yeah, brother. All right. You fella, audible reveries coming in. Cook 'em Bryce a little bit on the way. A little drive by.
Oh, but
I've been so confused that Trevor has the name Silent Reveries on the Discord.
It actually baited me the other day because
It
before
baits
Bryce got
myself.
back, I saw.
I didn't say that.
Well, I got baited. I got baited by audio reveries or audible reveries, thinking that was Bryce in the anime chat the other day, and I'm arguing with them. I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? You're not a weeb. Shut up."
Yeah,
trying to
he's coming over the
out-weeb me
top of some
here?
top tier weeb fucking.
Yeah, I was so
comments.
confused, and then I clicked on the name, and it's like, "Oh fuck, that ain't Bryce."
I've just
getting
been,
out of hand.
I've just been fucking arguing with him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think you fella is one of the biggest anime fans like in the
He's up there.
Discord.
It's like him.
Yeah,
and,
but I was trying to argue with him as if it was Bryce. Like, what the fuck are you trying to step up to the plate for here? I don't talk
like-
about.
Dude, I know my shit.
all right.
Hell yeah. Anyway, you coming in says he doesn't touch anything from EA, Ubisoft, Activision, or Epic. I love Blizzard and give everything they make a chance. I'm assuming he is like emphasizing the Blizzard side of Blizzard Activision,
Yeah.
or he hasn't heard the terrible news. And of course, companies like Nintendo. I check out stuff I think I might.
But I'd like to follow that up with like Diablo Immortal and shit like that. How salty? How mad?
We talked
Assuming
about
he's
it.
a Diablo fan.
Dude, that
Don't
game's
you
lit,
guys have phones, bro? Come on.
bro?
Yeah.
We just
Don't you
talked
guys
about
have
it.
Phones?
Bro,
Don't you have phones, forehead?
No, I'm flexing on you.
What a statement!
What?
Oh, what
Dude.
the? Holy shit, dude.
Oh, big
damn,
day.
dude, you got that
Wait,
Brian money?
don't let Bryce. Don't
What
let
is that,
Bryce
a
step up
work
to the
phone
plate.
or a personal phone?
Yeah.
Do you have a desk phone too for work?
Yes, I do.
So
I can
you're
have
like
all three
me,
of
and you
them
have
going.
3 phone numbers.
I technically would have 4
Motherfuckers.
once I log into my desk phone because the desk phone has its own number, but then I have my own number on top.
True,
of
I
it.
do have a separate desk phone in my office, and then my Skype.
Nobody
phone.
cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, I know you.
Well,
Bro, my
fancy
dick's
people.
bigger than yours. I got more fucking phone numbers, you
Yeah.
idiot.
I was just
That's-
talking about it before. I was like, why do I live in a world where I have 4 fucking phone numbers?
And
Cause
2
you're
years.
stupid.
Yeah.
Forehead.
Anyway. Forehead. I agree with you on like a lot of like Activision and Ubisoft, EA. I'm not going to include Epic because I I don't like their store, but I don't. The Unreal is okay. I've worn out their welcome. Nintendo is on thin fucking ice with their online shit.
Yes.
I
What
will
the
say.
fuck?
What's happening with their online shit?
They're not
They don't
doing
know how to do
anything.
Nothing's
Oh.
happening.
That's
You
the
take-
problem.
you take
Mario
money.
Maker 2. You can play online in Mario Maker 2, right? It's the one where you make stages, and you would think, oh, Nintendo's about making friends. Hell yeah, brother. So I can make a stage and play with my friends on the stage that I just made in Mario Maker. You'd be fucking wrong. It's all randoms. You can only play online with random people on the laggy ass $20 a year internet fucking package. Okay? You want to invite your friend to play this sick Mario Maker stage? Too fucking. They
Yeah,
don't know how to make online. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's
So hard for them.
a couple few episodes back when I was talking about Monster. I said Japan is really good at making games, but terrible at making menus.
I don't.
This is
Same thing.
another example. Yeah, it's online shit. They just don't. It doesn't.
There's something about the consoles they don't get into their online, but I noticed when I went to like their arcades and they have entire floors where they're playing these like wild, crazy arcade games against other people online.
Yeah, even like
Some of
Tekken
those
just
ones where they
play
like
online.
they clearly grabbed a cool market, and I wish that like arcades were popular here when they had those games where they're grabbing cards and then they're sitting there moving their 5 cards on their fucking board and shit, and I'm like,
yeah.
that is so cool. And somebody there is like, who are they playing against? Somebody online.
Somebody, yeah. So it's all districts. I looked it up. So like, if you're in the Tokyo one, Tokyo Sega or Tokyo Game Station or whatever, you'll just be with another one. There's like 5 or 6 in Tokyo, right? Or that area of Tokyo, Shinjuku or wherever the fuck. But if you're in Kyoto, you'll play within Kyoto. If you're in Osaka, you play within Osaka. So it's all city district.
Huh.
Yeah. And then
That's kinda cool, though.
And they get
That's how
that
they-
fine, but apparently you put a console in front of them, like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. dude. They're like, I don't fucking know, man. This is fucking wild, dude. Like,
Dude, that just reminds me of us trying to figure out how to fucking play Street Fighter 2-player.
yeah, dude,
local.
that took a
We're sitting
lot.
there in the menus that are all Japanese, pulling out Google Translate, like, come on, please, how does this work?
I don't want to fight the computer. I want to fight Flint.
Or even when
Which
we
is
were playing
probably worse.
DBZ, like the Dragon Ball Fighters.
Oh yeah, dude. So how to play online in that game? Go to a lobby, have an avatar, walk to the fight station.
Like we
it's
got to
fucking-
sync that we're in the same lobby and then join it and then set it with like private and passwords rather than just being like, I want to play Matt.
Yeah. Whereas
Or even
like,
Soul Calibur, you had to do the lobbies like that too.
Soul Calibur had a weird
Super
lobby
Smash
system.
Brothers as well.
You know it's weird? Pokemon, you don't. You go to your friends list, you click on them, it says, hey, they're online, and you go, I'd like to battle this person.
it
And then you
comes up.
send them a fucking battle request, and it's done.
I'm still heated about the Mario Party shit, and then they open up that wound again. Like,
With
come
Mario
on, bro.
Maker. Dude, same thing with Mario Tennis. Good fucking luck.
Yeah,
It's all randoms. You're an attorney.
It's
like,
so stupid.
I want to race with friends. I want to play tennis with friends. But if they live far away, I want that couch experience online. Nintendo, figure it out. It's just triggering.
It is pretty triggering.
I saw red when I saw you.
See, I haven't done enough. The only online game I've played with Nintendo has been Super Smash Brothers, and I've been able to verse the
That's
people
been-
I need to. And other than that, it's been like the games
even
I'm
its
excited
online's
for
been
are all
tragic.
single player. So I didn't realize like I haven't bought any of the party games and
We're
shit.
going on a
forever.
bit of a tangent. So yeah, Nintendo's on thin ice. Is what we're all.
Yeah, and it was on thin fucking ice. But yeah, I agree with you. We're like, if I see that it's an EA game, I'm going.
Fair
Buy that. I'm gonna wait to see if there's microtransactions, brother. I don't want to deal with that. But
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
whole thing is expanding on that is that instead of now being following studios and being more hyped in what they create, I view everything as a neutral, and I'm more defensive towards certain studios. Where it's not like I'm gonna put Activision came out with the game. Great, I can't wait to see more details on it. I could not, care less if they made it or someone else. I'm just like, oh, that's a cool concept. Who made it? Oh, hold on. All right, maybe this ain't gonna be as good as I thought. Never mind.
Right.
So I don't want to dip my toes too much into The shooters, that's part of the community challenge for next week. Mainly because when this question was created, Modern Warfare hadn't been announced. And we didn't have all of the game announcements we have pre E3. This has been insane. This has been an insane week.
Yep.
But this week in general has made me excited and hope that maybe there's a turnaround. Because here's my mindset on it. Corporations at the end of the day are still people. It's people who come up with these ideas, whether it's the marketing or whether it's coming from like the publishers or it's the game devs deciding to do something with a certain game. It's all people at the end of the day. In that, my desire is to follow this conspiracy theory that if you screw over your community for so long and get them used to it, just undoing all the terrible shit you did wins everybody back over, instant profit, and you made a ton of money on the way from just exploiting your own audience.
See, it feels like that should happen, but I feel like at the same time, some of those, like, generally what I'd heard,
that's what's
right?
happening.
Well, yes, I think you'll win the court of public opinion, but you won't necessarily make the dollars, or they'll have to have some kind of secondary thing. Part of the reason I heard that microtransactions and all these other, DLCs and all that started happening was that it's kind of like the comparison where like wages haven't increased, but rent has. So people's wages aren't really increasing because of general corporate greed. And they don't have any more money to spend more than the same, $60 that they spent on the games for the last 10 years. They really can't afford it. And so they started putting all this extra shit because like they get to these points where it's like you have to sell 10 million copies to make back your money, but you're only going to sell 3 million copies. You have to make it back after it's sold. And then it went, oh, okay, cool. With these microtransactions, we can make huge profit margins. But as much as they'll like win that audience, I do wonder if some of those AAA studios will struggle where that to make the same graphic quality, their investment is still so high, they have to monetize after sale in some way.
Yeah, but that in its own, specifically looking at graphic quality, that insinuates that they would be using the same technology, making it just as hard every year to year to meet certain quality standards, when in actuality, everything's evolving. So achieving these higher graphics is just natural.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's hard to make this graphic now, but then those AAA studios are often aiming for the next tier of graphics. So then, okay, we figured out this one. This one's easy, but we're going to go do this one that's higher graphics and harder again.
Yeah, but a lot of studios don't care about that. Like they just come out with good graphics, and they're known for that. It's not like every game is trying to be like Drake's Uncharted, where they're like,
no, not every.
We're the
game.
New,
I'm talking about AAA is often associated with these certain tiers of graphics and these certain tiers of like view, right? It's like smaller studios are kind of known for choosing an artistic style that's cheaper to make, but then can last, right? Indie studios often have, they've almost brought back like the 2D art style, right? In certain ways where they'll have tons of success, but their budgets are far smaller. But when I'm thinking of AAAs, I'm thinking of the EAs, the Ubisofts, the Activisions that are putting out these like more realistic and more realistic and more realistic. And I don't think there's ever really this dramatic reduction in cost because you're stepping up before, as soon as you reduce this cost, you're stepping up your budget again to hit that next tier, because that's some of them where some of those are guys are competing. And it's only in the big studio side, not so much in the small studio side.
I don't know. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's just more of human element of old ages of thinking and trying to turn around and evolve in an industry that is dominated by free-to-play games currently. Like, real talk, the progression seemingly was you have too many. All right, especially from Epic. Epic saw how much Smite made because Epic got that money. Because Smite runs off their engine. So a percentage of profits from Smite actually went to Epic, which is where Paragon came from. Like, not conspiracy. That's where it came from.
Right.
Epic tried to get on that gold mine. Didn't work. But they understood that the free-to-play mentality of it and selling skins worked. Then they 2.0 it with Fortnite. We can still make a free game and make a shit ton of money off it. Here's how we'll do it. They adapted well. Other studios still coming out with $60 games trying to compete with a game like Fortnite, or even like League.
Well, that's what they're doing with Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare, they're at least evolving it. It's going to be $60, but they
And
realized
no battle
we
pass,
can't
so
get
they could
away
have had
with
it free
100.
and do a battle pass and do the same type of shit.
Yeah, they could. Honestly, I'm waiting to hear more on this, and what they plan to do in the longevity, because they've at least made it from $100 game if you want the full content down to
Minus
a
zombies.
$60 game. Is There's zombies.
No
Yeah, but zombies.
There's no
isn't-
zombies in this.
Yeah, but that's the point of Infinity Warfare, or Infinity Ward has never sold zombies before. They've always tried to do this more of a co-op experience, and some other way. Even if it's like monster-like, it's usually more like Spec Ops is the prime example of the aim of Infinity Ward, which is what they're bringing back for their co-op experience in the new game. Not trying to defend them in their price, but it is a lesson that you cannot expect everyone to want to pay $100 for the full content of your game.
Yeah, but the
Even
Battlefield
60, I think,
shit.
is steep.
The
The 40
fire-
has been that point. I think a lot of developers have learned is the ideal place to make money. But the thing is, for the 60, what kind of microtransactions does the new Call of Duty have? What else does it entail? That's kind of what I'm hesitant on. Granted, I don't give a shit about skins for like guns and shit, so the microtransactions mean nothing to me.
It's
if
kinda
you
weird
want to
that I
buy
love
into it.
Smite skins and League skins, and like every other game, I don't give 2 fucks. I'm like,
Yeah,
A lot of that's because you can see them when you're using them. You buy a fucking gun skin in Apex Legends, you can press a button to look at it, but other than that, you can't fucking see shit.
Sure.
well, and it's the perspective. I think first person versus third or
Top-down.
omnipotent. You know,
Down, yeah,
it's
omnipotent.
it's
Bird's
it
eye.
plays. Granted, I don't get League skins. I'm just like you're like 5 pixels. What?
I actually like
What?
League skins as
You
much
can
as
tell
I
the
like
difference
Smite
when
skins.
you're using them a lot.
I think some of it too was like Smite and League got it right, where you also had the animation changes. Then they had all the new
That's true.
voiceover as well
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of those that like made it really fun. Like playing Jinx, she was one of my favorite characters. You know, she's normally got a rocket launcher, but then instead, when you got her Chinese skin, she's shooting those like Chinese fireworks with the
Yeah,
dragon
fireworks
heads.
and
And then when
Mulan,
it
dude.
goes, it doesn't just explode with its red flame; it explodes with like firework explosions, and it definitely like sold it a bit more.
Turning Alistair into a cow, and he starts like even more. Like that was awesome.
Good. Lifeguard or Renekton.
Yeah, dude, lifeguard
Recall.
Renekton.
Pop up on the fucking lifeguard chair. Spam it as you're killing people.
Dude, that was one thing they did really well, is like the way you could like intermingle taunts. I thought was so fun. So you just do like these weird like squats and stuff when you're the way you could like interrupt taunts. And they don't work the same quite in Smite, but just like the
Yeah, but Smite
BM
has
you
its
could
own-
do.
Smite has its own culture, right? Like spamming laugh and spamming taunt. And
Yeah.
like,
Oh, dude, I'd
Yeah,
spam laugh
we got
too,
we
though.
got some.
yeah, we got our own toxic.
I did
culture.
that. I was bad. I was actually worse about
Dance.
spam laughing in League than I was in Smite, even though I was a spam laugher in Smite sometimes.
Oh yeah, everyone. was.
Especially when you're like bodying somebody. Like Alistair's one of my favorites, where like somebody comes chasing me and I just hit the laugh button, stand there, hit the laugh button, and then my team just shows up and kills them, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just standing there laughing still, and you're like,
You could do that like Hercules, right? Like you're getting
yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's kind of like being Hercules, and you're just like,
and you use your 3, and you're just like,
Yeah.
"Rah,
Motherfucker.
Hit him with the
Hercules.
VEW.
motherfucking Hercules, right? And then like you hit brace or like that, you get those 2. Like,
My point was there. We've seen over many years that free to play works. It did not work for a very, very long time. I remember the struggle days on the first PC builds, looking and going through all the free to play games on Steam, and they were just these pay to win pieces of garbage. And then things changed. Developers finally caught on, and we're in this point now where we are so deep into this span of games between free, where you spend your money as you please, and about $40, where you can get so much good content out of it, regardless of your genre of choice. and is put to the point now that it's been so many years that developers either have to adapt to it or they have to create a reason for you to spend the money you're going to spend if that's above, the
And in Modern Warfare, that's single player campaign.
Yeah, they have that. See, again, not trying to sell anybody on that game. I'm excited for the potential it could have mainly because they have so many millions invested by outside organizations that have already looked at it and been like, I see potential in this. Just like Overwatch. Overwatch put all that money into it. At the time, I, even as a fan, could not envision what the game was going to do or what the developers were going to do to make the money worth it and keep this game alive. But I was proven wrong. Developers have done a lot better. And they're making the game much more of a I don't want to say a lifestyle thing, but just something that will stand for generations.
Whether anybody's watching or not.
Well, they have a lot of people watching. That's the thing. It goes back to Matt's conversation of just because you have all these likes going for people not liking it does not discount how many people actually still enjoy it. Like Overwatch League comes on. It is the top stream. There are times it's not going to be, and that's fine. But like if you're getting 100+ viewers consistently, 4 times a week,
that's it.
You got nothing to prove to anybody at that point.
No.
But I think the next few years is where we're really going to see the fruits of these pricing changes, and either again, quality being increased on higher priced games, higher price being 60-ish, or just seeing developers we already know very fluently changing their pricing structures completely. Fuck you, Matt.
For sure.
I'm in agreement. I think one of the things you were talking about, though, with the free to play, I feel like there's still some room for people to, like, the market hasn't truly understood how much many of the products are worth. Like, Sweet, I thought actually did a pretty good job with the way they priced out their gems versus like what you got.
Oh yeah, especially with the God pack.
When I broke it down, it'd be especially with the God pack, yeah. But it was like, I'd break it down. It's like, okay, it's like 200 gems or 400 gems for this base skin that doesn't have like all these crazy voiceovers and stuff. And like I'd work that out to be like $5. And then I could also buy the bundled packs of things, and it's like $4. And when it was $4, I was more likely to then spend 20 buying 5 objects. And I've been playing Dauntless this week with Derek. Who knows how long I'll play it. And the more I play it, the more I'm just intrigued to try Monster Hunter instead, because I think it's just generally better from what I understand than Dauntless. And so I'm like,
Monster Hunter sucks.
Well, I know you're big on it. Derek already owns it, and he's like, we could play Monster Hunter if you want. He just wants to play games with me. But then I was like, okay. What the PlayStation?
I have to set mine up. All right.
Whichever, we'll figure it out. But we might play it and then play with you. But the point I was getting to with that is I was like, okay, so I look at the store in Dauntless, right? I bought like a $7 pack that you could buy when you first get in, gives you like 1,000 platinum and gives you like 2 emotes or whatever. And I was like, okay, what can I buy for 1,000 platinum? 1,000 platinum in general is running you like $13 Canadian anyway. Maybe it's like $10 American. And it's like, okay, what can I buy for 1,000 platinum? Oh, I can buy like 1 dance, right? Like 1 emote. Or I can buy like, out of this armor set, I can buy 3 out of 5 pieces for $10. And I'm like, holy fuck. Or I can buy 5 transmog items, like 5 transmog cores. So I could like transmog any single piece that I have to be like a permanent transmog. Holy fuck, that's expensive. Like when I compare like what a 600 gem skin in Smite would get you, right? It's like, that's like $7. And you get like the full skin, the full voiceover. Sometimes, you'd buy the bundles where you'd get like, you'd get like 3 skins and you'd get like, your pedestals and all this other shit. It costs you like $15 full price. But then I'm like, I can buy like 1 armor set for like $22 in Dauntless. And I was just like blown away by how expensive like every individual piece is. And I've played games where it's like, here's your free to play model. You rent the fucking skin and you have to like pay a subscription to look this way as you play. So there's some of them that it's like Smite got me to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, $4 at a time, and Epic got me to spend $7 and then just be like, I'm not spending a dime. I feel like I'm not getting enough for my money, even though technically what I got from Smite was actually worthless to the rest of my life. I still spent hundreds, borderlining on like, $1,000 on Smite over the 5 years.
Yeah,
$4 at a time. So like Smite did really well at the pricing point, but so many free to play games, so many mobile games. Like I get that for $9. Like that's nothing.
Yeah.
I had that problem with Pokemon Go. That's part of why I quit.
Like you have to remember with what you're saying with Dauntless. Does the gear give you stats?
No, they did go the full only cosmetic route, which I enjoy. I think is really good. I think if they actually cut like it's funny if they cut pretty much all of their prices in half or more, I'd probably spend 3 times as much money on it.
There you go. All I was going to say on that is you have to remember in Smite, not only do they have the God Pack, which is like it goes on sale like 4 times a year, so you can buy every character from now, basically, if you get it on sale, which it happens enough where you should just wait.
I honestly think that's what killed Heroes of the Storm.
Smite?
No, the lack of a God Pack and the pricing of their characters. Well, I mean, there was gameplay issues, but like
they were trying to
League of Legends was far easier to get a character and far cheaper to get a character. It was like $5 real, $5 or $6 Canadian. It was like $12 Canadian per character to get in Heroes of the Storm.
I knew it was more expensive, but also with Smite, you can rent for a week, and it wasn't even that much favor.
I remember doing that shit. Holy cow!
You could rent a god for a day. It was like favor. There was some cheap. It was cheap. Like,
dude, when I started playing, I played League first, but I just played like a few games. I was like, I'm not really into this. And then I played Smite, and then figured out how you buy the characters and everything. And then like a year later, I go to League again to try it out. I'm like, wait a second, there's no fucking God Pack. I just assumed that's how the industry worked. I was like, I know League's got way more characters. I'm like, what the fuck? This is so expensive. Fuck you.
Yep.
What the League? I got by buying things on sale. I would buy my RP because I would want to buy the characters because I spent more money I think on characters than I did on skins because I've always got that character ADD, right? I'm playing Dauntless and every mission I use a different weapon, like every time. That's always been my style. But I would always just buy them when they were on for like 50% off. So it was like $3.50 a champion in League.
Right. Yeah.
Just kind of done over time. But yeah, God Pack and Smite, like I think they did their pricing right. They did it at that level where it was like enticing enough to buy, and then you would just buy more. And we can complain about like the bundles, and I still think the chests were bullshit, and I always hated the chests. But I loved their like, here's your summer pack. You're going to spend $30, but you're going to get what you feel is like $50 worth of stuff. It's all worthless digital stuff that means nothing now that I haven't played Smite in a year. But like compared to, their regular pricing scheme, I really feel like they're like the marketers. They did a fucking brilliant job in sucking every fucking spare penny I had.
For sure.
And they got their pricing margin right.
Kind of going back to like developers though, like I can tell you, like Capcom announced the game, I usually get excited, but I won't buy it usually right away. Like I haven't bought Devil May Cry 5 yet. I don't really care about DMC, but like
I never got to DMC, but
a lot of IP, like I find it's more IP than it is developer nowadays. Like we were talking before, because I was talking to these guys about Monkey Island, and then Bryce was like, yo, you should get the Telltale one, and I was like, oh, sick. So he sent me, well, it's on Steam, but you can't get it anymore because Telltale's not around anymore. But I was like, fuck. So but so like I like Monkey Islands. I don't really care if LucasArts was making it or Telltale. I'll at least like look into it, right? So
for sure.
Sure. Anyone else, anything else to say on that?
No, I think that
hits it pretty well.
So next week's community challenge is
on. Trevor,
you got it.
You want to fire it off?
One of you two.
Yeah. So
you got it ready to rip? Okay, fire it off.
Yeah. So this week, obviously, Modern Warfare was announced amongst other games. The new Halo Infinite is rumored to come out next year. The new Gears of War game is rumored to come out at the end of this year, likely released here shortly. or the announcement will be here shortly. In that, we've seen a lot of little hints of things. How are we feeling about the state of the industry right now and what we've heard so far? Is this the return of the golden age of shooters, or is this just the same old bullshit we've been fed for years and years?
Dude, I'm trying to get some rum. Send me the bottle. Special edition bag.
What?
He's talking about Fallout 76 Special Edition Run.
Oh, god damn it. Dude, put me asleep with that. Holy shit. That's a topic I meant to possibly bring up in that whole debacle we had there a few seconds ago.
Fallout 76 still just trash? Like,
yes, it's the worst thing. It is just the worst. Yeah. No, they're literally giving it away. You cannot, like, stores don't want it. They're giving it away.
Yeah, I had a knock on the door the other day. I thought it was the census guy. No, he was trying to give me the download for 76.
Boo.
Guy tried to force his way in. Unlucky. Fuck you, Bryce.
Boo. That was it. That was the whole question.
Comment for this last year is there's been some like massive flops in the last like year or two, like Anthem and like Fallout 76, like the games that companies were like putting all of their fucking cards in, and then just like miserable failures.
But there's been a lot of unexpected goodies.
Oh, there has, but I think there's just been like catastrophic failures bigger than I'd seen before. Like there's been lots of wins all over, but
I just wait until Madman Matt changes his name.
I don't remember. I can't remember the last time I saw a game flop like Anthem or Fallout 76.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Of that like scale and renown, like
we're in this state where social media is continuously growing. So every year is just going to feel like that, even though games have been dropping like flies forever. We just previously were talking about it as a group of friends.
I just don't remember massive brands dropping that badly, though.
Because we just don't remember those games anymore. I guess they happened. They definitely happened. If we go
been some giant brands that just released a shit pile and tanked their franchise. Like this, like, is the love of Fallout so great that like if a Fallout 5 comes out and it's, even if at least Fallout 4 quality, which a lot of people say is not as good as Fallout 3, do you think it could still like bring back its popularity, or do you think they have to come out with a game that's like, the next Fallout 3 or greater before they're forgiven?
I think they have to rebuild their franchise like Call of Duty has been trying to. I don't know how long it would take them, because it is a different situation where Call of Duty had many titles that were shit, and Fallout had one definitely shit, one that just wasn't as good.
I mean, there's different levels of shit. I think there's
a game
general low grade quality, and then there's just like a full barrel of like runny shit, and that's what Fallout 76 generally was. Like you can at least sell some of those Call of Duty games, right?
Yeah.
Unlike what I'm hearing with Fallout 76.
That's a fair point.
All right, this is some shit we can bring up next week. Some shit we can bring up next week when we're actually talking about.
I don't know if I'll be here next week. It's kind of like a dice
community challenge. Are we re-entering the golden age of shooters? Let us know how you feel. It's posted. We'll let you know. For those of you listening in audio, Matt got cooked too hard. He bounced. So I'll close this out. You want to check out more stuff, sqapodcast.com. That's the place to go. It'll have all the episodes up there. You want to listen to us on audio, you can do so on SoundCloud, Spotify, PodBean, Google Play, iTunes, whatever you want to listen to. Give us a like and a listen there. Be very much appreciated. If you want to go on YouTube, you can check us out at SideQuest Arcade or SQA Clips if you'd like a little more bite-sized information on what we talked about.
Bite-sized.
Channels now. You want to check us out on Discord, you can do so. SideQuest Arcade Discord. Hop on in. Give us a good chat. You want to follow Matt, you can follow him at Madman Matt YT. You want to follow Bryce, you can follow him at _Silent Reveries. You want to follow Brian, you can follow him at SQA_happiness. You want to follow Trevor, you can follow him at War Hates Peace. And you can follow myself at Micromanatee. With all that being said, thank you very much, guys, for stopping by. Brian, Trevor, Bryce. Matt when he comes back from his nap. See you. Appreciate it. Thank you to the Whammies for stop. Really do appreciate the listen. We'll see you next week on Sunday.
Peace.
Bye-bye.